Okay, this is the May 21st, 2018 regular meeting of the Middletown Township Committee. At this time, I'll read the Open Public Meeting Statement. Notice requirements provided for under the Open Public Meetings Act. When satisfied, notice that this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Star Ledger, the Independent, Two River Times, and posting in the Middletown Township Municipal Building, and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 18, 2018 and May 16, 2018. At this time, I'll call the roll. Committeeman Fiore. Here. Committeeman Hybel. Here. Committeeman Perry. Here. Deputy Mayor Santabrino. Here. And Mayor Murray.
Here.
Okay, at this time, we'll also call the roll of individuals up here today. We have Mayor Bernard Dowse of Leonardo Elementary School.
Here.
Yeah. Oh, we'll make sure that's corrected.
Correct that for the record.
Mayor Sidney Rosen of Lincroft Elementary School. Mayor Luke Roberts of Nutswamp Elementary School. Mayor Aaron Smith of Port Monmouth Elementary School.
Here.
And Mayor Lauren Voltascio of River Plaza Elementary School. Okay, now everyone's here. We can do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, and I think our mayors for today would like to lead us in the pledge. All right, on your word, mayors. Go ahead, you start.
We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just ask everybody for a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our freedoms, Constitution, and way of life. Thank you. At this time, we'll have presentations and proclamations that Mayor Stephanie C. Murray will present the duties and responsibilities of the Office of Mayor in the Township of Middletown.
Okay, where are my mayors? I need you guys to come down, mayors. Come on. Mayor Bernie the Third. So, this is the 5th year. Say hi, everybody. Hi. Hi, Mr. Mayor. These are our mayors for the day. This is our 5th year that we're doing this program in Middletown. It's something that we offer to the elementary schools, and many of them participated, and we're really happy about that. And I think it gets better every year. So I'm just going to read you a sample proclamation of what we've given our mayors for the day. And they're going to go to school tomorrow. And what are you going to do? You're going to give it to your principals. And they're going to let everybody know that you're mayors for the day. Right? Okay, and they were sworn in today. We talked about local government and a township committee meeting and the responsibilities of being on the township committee and being the mayor. So I think you guys had a good time, right? Yes. Some cookies. Yeah, my favorite. Pretzels and more. Okay, so mayor for a day. Now you guys have already heard this. Middletown Township acknowledges that these 5 mayors will be the mayor for the day on Tuesday, May 22nd. I, Mayor Stephanie C. Murray, do hereby proclaim that
Bernie Dodd the Third
will handle any mayoral responsibilities at his school. As a public servant for your school's community, you will need to be a good role model, a strong leader, and listen to the concerns of your fellow students. The Middletown Township Committee and I sincerely hope that this experience promotes a lifelong interest in public service and empowers you to take on leadership roles in your community. So, I'm going to hand this to you one at a time. Hand it out. Stay up here, take help. This is Madam Mayor Sidney Rosen, Mayor Aaron Smith, Mayor Luke Roberts, Mayor Lauren Voltaggio. Now maybe you want to tell everybody what school you guys are from? Can we have a hand for our mayors? Okay, mayors, let's have one pick, and then you're free. Free to go home and get ready for your big day tomorrow as mayors.
All right, big mayoral
Okay.
smile.
Come on, you guys, smile.
Great, guys, thank you. Great job.
Hey, Aaron, where's that?
I could ain't gonna sit still for that long.
Aaron, did you want this? I know you guys want their name. Mayor Sidney, where's he Nice, take care.
We have no minutes for approval this evening. We have, next on the agenda then, a public hearing of proposed ordinances. Ordinance number 2018-3220, an ordinance providing funding for various preliminary expenses in connection with the municipal complex for the Township of Middletown and appropriating $250,000 for such purposes. At this time, we may open the public comment.
Would anybody like to speak to 2018-3220? Seeing no members of the public wish to speak. Oh, Leo, you know what? I need to put my glasses on.
No, look at the audience before you.
They just want me. Can't see. Now I can see now. Sorry about that, Leo. Yes, the ordinance specifically.
Middletown and Shady Oaks, Riverpod. I think I have two questions. Like a special counsel, I might ask 3 or 4. But at any rate, here are the 2 questions. Mostly about the wording use. What's the difference between a current and general capital improvement expense?
Yeah, I mean, this is not a typical capital where there's going to be debt. There's no debt. This is money raised through the budget, but for capital purposes.
So this is, I believe I read in the Ocean, about Ocean County, government, that they were using, not using debt service for this current year. They were using, I think, cash for capital improvement, only cash.
Yes,
And that means real money, not dollars, cash.
that's what this is.
Okay, that's what that is?
Yes,
What is the source of the cash?
it's budget. It was put in the budget for 2018.
And I think you, did you take $535,000 up to the 3.5 cap, or you money.
No, we didn't use
So
it.
okay, that.
No cap back money, no.
Thank you. Second question, what are the various preliminary expenses?
Well, going into planning for the project to build a new municipal building, we will need assistance from people like cost estimators, engineers to represent Middletown in reviewing the project as it moves forward. You have financial consultants that we're using to make sure we get the best financial package put together to finance the project. So those sorts of costs.
So last question. I asked you before regarding the source of the funds for the capital improvement of this complex, and I want to know if the government would be going into debt service, and you said no, it's coming from private funding.
We said we haven't made a final determination as to how we're funding the project at this point. It's a negotiation.
We can check the meetings, but I'll take your word for it. I thought you said that it would not go into debt servicing this capital improvement of this complex.
Leo, if we go into an agreement for a public-private partnership agreement, there would be no need for the governing body to go into debt service. It would be a lease agreement. If we did that,
If then, okay,
there would be no.
follow the logic. So,
We have made a determination.
so I would ask you, like Ocean County, to if you have to finance this through the government, you try to use cash for capital improvement with no interest involved. That's my request. We'll see what happens. You better obey me. Thank you.
Thanks, Leo. Is there anybody else that wishes to speak to 2018-32-20? Okay, seeing no more members of the public wishing to speak to 2018-32-20, I will move to the motion of the
Second.
Okay. I'll take on adoption, we'll do a roll call on ordinance number 2018-3220, ordinance providing funding for various preliminary expenses in connection with the municipal complex of the Township of Middletown, appropriating $250,000 for such purposes. Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Hybel.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Santabrino.
Yes.
And Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Okay. The ordinance is adopted and will be published accordingly. The next item on the agenda, there are no ordinances to be introduced. This evening we'll have a consent agenda, including resolutions 18-150 through resolution 18-160, including bingo and raffle applications and firefighter applications.
Move
Does anybody?
Before we do, can I just ask that we pull 18-153 for separate vote?
Moving 18-153. Vote. Okay. All right, so consent agenda will now include resolutions 18-150 through 18-152, excluding 18-153, and including 18-154 through 18-160, and bingo and raffle applications and firefighter applications.
So moved.
Second. Okay. Roll call vote. Committeeman Fiore.
This is on the consent?
On the consent, yes. Committeeman Hybel.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Santabrino.
Yes.
And Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Okay, in separate vote on resolution 18-153. May I have a motion?
So moved.
So before we vote on this, Mr. Nelson, I'll ask you just from a legal opinion why I hold this. I'm a member of the club, so I don't know if I can vote on this. If I can, I'll let you make a determination.
It's
I'm not a director or anything.
yeah, I mean, it's nothing in which you would be receiving a pecuniary
That's correct.
interest.
So if you say I can, then.
As a member yourself, but it's your choice is a abundance of caution to avoid the appearance of any conflict, but I would contend that it's unnecessary to recuse yourself, but you may, as an abundance of caution, just authorizing the fireworks display. Okay. And was there a second on that?
Second.
Committeeman Buer.
Yes.
Committeeman Hybel.
Yes.
Committeeman Perry.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Sedambrino.
Yes.
And Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda, resolution 18-153 have been adopted. At this time, we have Township Committee comments.
Okay, I'm going to go with Committeeman Perry first this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a great time with our mayors for the day today. Starting at around 6 o'clock, they came in, were sworn in, and it was just a fun afternoon with so many kids. I had the opportunity to be on hand when one of them was selected at the Linecroft Elementary School's PTA fundraiser. They had brought in the Harlem Wizards, and I played in that, and I can tell you one career path I'm not going to be taking up is basketball. I did score a triple single of 2 points, a steal, and an assist, so I'm going to just call it quits while I'm ahead. But it was a great fundraiser for Linecroft PTA. Really enjoyed my time with all the kids, and Mayor Sidney was the lucky winner of the Mayor for the Day from Linecroft at that event. So that was a real thrill. And I will just make one other note, and that was I took part in the Police Week memorial ceremony that we had here at Town Hall on Friday, I believe it was. And I have to tell you, it was a wonderful, a very solemn ceremony, but one that you had great pride in Middletown and the people that showed up. I see many of them here today, but it also included the families, and I really thought it was a wonderful ceremony closing out Police Memorial Week, and it was my honor to be there and speak on behalf of the Township Committee. That's all I have. Thanks, Mayor.
Committeeman Hybel, what you got tonight?
What do I have tonight? One very important, the fire department was able, with the EMS, able to assist using a breathing device on some animals that were rescued from a home this past week. It's really awesome. I think that was about 2 months ago we received the donation for that, and that worked out really, really well. Myself, Committeeman Perry, and Sedambrino attended the Linecroft Little League parade, which was, again, a lot of people involved. I think we had about 80 volunteers that were in charge of that. Very good event. And I also attended the annual Reaching Out program on May 15th. It was the first time I ever attended anything like that. It's a great program. I'm glad we were able to participate in that. It's very important for our kids to be involved and everyone to be involved. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, Committeeman Hybel. Committeeman Buer.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few quick comments tonight. First, I echo some of the comments of my colleague, Committeeman Perry, with respect to the Mayor for the Day program, and I know that's something that we started, I believe, 5 years ago. I think it's a wonderful program. It's great to see the youth of our community, get the chance to interact with the governing body. I think that it's something that committees of the future should continue to participate in, and I would just hope to see more elementary schools here in the township. I know we've got sporadic kind of participation, some schools some years, some schools others, but I think it's something that they should all potentially take advantage of. So something that I think is a very worthwhile program and one that I'd like to see more. Some of the laws and ordinances that they want to see if they were mayor are quite interesting, and I always love the perspective of what they bring to that night. So thank you, Mayor, for the staff, your staff, for putting together another wonderful program. The only other thing I'll mention is, without saying, next week is Memorial Day. So I believe it's always get this wrong, I believe it's the American Legion who hosts the Memorial Day Parade, correct? Just based on where we start.
10
So at 10 a.m., so I would hope to see everybody attend as much as they can. It is a great opportunity for us to, as Americans, as those who should really take pride in all the sacrifices that our heroes that serve this country so valiantly have put together to help us enjoy our freedoms and life. So hopefully, if you can't make the parade, hopefully you'll be able to honor it. Thank you, Deputy.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. A few items this evening. As with my colleagues, I want to mention the mayor's program that we had. It's fantastic for the township and for the young mayors that we had today. And I want to share with you one takeaway from one of the young mayors today. And we said, what is it that you know that the mayor does? And the comment was, well, the mayor sits around in the chair and tells people what to do. I said, okay. So, one thing we want to make sure is that the young mayors get a taste of township government and get an understanding of how the township runs. And moreover, their parents get an understanding of how the township runs. And it's interesting to see what some perceptions are, number one. Number two, interesting to get their view on things and how they can contribute. But once we can get young people to contribute more to township government, local government, county government, I think we can begin to we see leaders emerge, and that's what we really want to try to do with this program. So, fantastic program, Mayor. Thank you for continuing. Two other items. This past Sunday, I was lucky enough to attend Troop 32. They had advanced not one, not two, not three, but four new Eagle Scouts at that ceremony. And unlike Committee Perry's attendance at 3 Eagle Scouts for 3 ceremonies, I was able to attend one ceremony at 4 Eagle Scouts. So it was great. And Township Middletown and Troop 32 continues to deliver new Eagle Scouts and new leaders to our community, which is again what we want to try to continue to promote. The other item, Mayor, is this past Thursday, I did kick off with the Township Administrator and Committee of Inquiry the microgrid study community outreach program. As you know or don't know, the Township has received a $150,000 grant to begin a microgrid study. We've since hired Linus Engineering company to execute that grant for us. We'll be completing it towards the end of this year, with the beginning of next year, in conjunction with the Navy, to look at an alternate source of energy within the township that can operate either as an island or in contribution to the grid, such that we have essentially the ability to run the important structures in town, the critical structures in town, through a separate power source and not rely on the grid. So that was the first of a few community outreach programs, and we have at least 2 more to come, with more information as our consultant develops, gets information and develops the study. With that, Mayor, I have nothing else to say. Thank you.
I'm going to refrain from making any comments this evening because we have quite a few people here, so I think we're going to proceed right to public comment. So is there anyone here who would like to make a public comment? Okay, so it's 5 minutes, your name and your address, and you can speak about whatever it is that you need to speak about.
Thank you. My name is Elizabeth Pomeroy. I live at 20 Brotherton Avenue. For 8 years, Middletown has been a certified sustainable Jersey community, and this committee has pledged to create a truly sustainable community. Specifically, you pledged to use the complete streets approach. Well, I don't know if I can ask a question, but sure. Oh, good. Will you be using the complete streets approach for the reconfiguration of Route 35 between Kings Lane and Kings Highway? Will that design be made public? Is the green team going to be part of that design team?
Isn't that a state route?
We don't have any jurisdiction on Highway 35 or Beach Street.
How about where the local roads meet the highway?
I don't think we're changing those roads, are we?
Yeah.
Still,
So what you're talking about is where feasible, complete streets will be an option. Certainly new roads, we'll look at that as an option. The state highway we don't have jurisdiction over, and Kings Highway East, which is the only other main public street that's affected, is a scenic corridor, so there's limitations on the improvements you can do along scenic corridor. So they may not be appropriate for a complete streets approach.
Thank you. Is the island in between Route 35 state land?
Yes, it's not in our jurisdiction either.
No, it's not.
Well, or private. Dunkin' Donuts is all privately owned.
Sometimes complete streets include portions of a very large area or portions of that private land or the development is to take place. The community can ask them, especially if it's on a state highway, you can't do much there, to use some of the private land in order to create an environment that meets what you pledged to do with complete streets approach.
It's possible, but the DOT would have to.
Well, I'm talking about the part where you do have power, and you have power over the private land that it fronts through 35.
Yeah, but the improvement, to do a complete streets improvement would require improvement within the DOT right of way.
No, what I'm talking about is asking a private developer who may have over 100 acres to say, listen, why don't you guys take 12 feet along the right-of-way, or maybe 15 feet along the right-of-way, and develop that in order to create a complete streets environment.
Well, what I'm telling, first of all, that would be an issue for the planning board to address during
But
site plan
if it's
approval.
not before the planning board, but before the town committee.
No, the site plan for the project would be before the planning board.
Well, what if it's not a site plan? What if it's an area needed redevelopment?
It is part of the site plan application, number one. Number two, even any type of improvement along the state highway that involves movement, like bicycle lanes, or those sorts of things that would be included in the streets, complete streets program, would have to get approval from the DOT. You couldn't just do that on private property without the DOT.
Not to do this
Right.
project. I mean, the DOT has many state roads that have to also deal with private needs along the side, which are complete streets. I mean, it's not the only state highway that runs through the town. I'm sure this isn't an unusual situation, if that's what you're saying.
Right, but it hasn't been done on any state highways in this area.
Obviously, that's why, 8 years ago, you guys pledged to make a difference and create a truly sustainable community, specifically a complete streets approach.
Well, not
And that means
specifically,
they
the
have
sustainable
ice
community
cream
does lots of
crossing
things.
the street there.
It's not all about complete
Going from
streets.
Coles over to the other side with children, so it's not something that is not, I'm looking at, it's our safety.
I think the confusion is that a redevelopment agreement is, or a redevelopment study or agreement is within the purview of the township committee. But even if that agreement were to take place, a site plan approval is still necessary for the planning board. So we are not the ultimate decision maker as to the.
No.
No, let me just finish. We're not the decision maker as to what you can do in terms of site plan, variances, or anything that you would need to do. We are just, there still would have to be an approval. If it did not accept approval from the planning board, then
I'm
that's
glad
where
you
you
brought
have
that
to
up,
go.
because what you're saying is that the redevelopment plan will be created by this committee, and then you will actually be party to the decision-making process of the specific details that the developer would need to follow, correct? So during that time, are you going to include the green team? Will you be taking the complete streets approach as you pledged? It's a land use issue.
It is a land use issue, and
Under your purview.
yes, and it's certainly something we can talk to a developer about. And we actually have a meeting coming up probably in the next few weeks with the DOT about that project specifically. And we can raise the issue as to whether or not they'd be open to incorporating some sort of streets, complete streets concept along the frontage of that development. If they're interested in it, then we can talk to the developer about it.
Are you interested in it?
Sure, yeah.
And how are you going to put on your pledge?
Just to be fair, it was 8 years ago?
No, it's not going to begin, it's annual, and you have reissued this pledge annually.
Just to be clear, though, the township's green team is a very active green team. We're very highly regarded in sustainable Jersey. Complete streets is only one element of sustainability, okay? It's one thing. We do lots of other activities and programs involving sustainability. And so no one pledged to turn every street into a complete street. That was never a pledge. The pledges were open to complete streets where it makes sense. And if it makes sense, then that would be incorporated.
So pretty sure resolution, the word pledge is used in the beginning, and there's only about 7 paragraphs. So for you to say you didn't make that pledge is, I think, an exaggeration.
I think you're exaggerating.
Okay, with all due respect, we're about 6 minutes now, so.
I want to talk about it. So gentlemen, for us, speakers,
Township administrator.
Oh, I was in the town committee. Oh, okay, so the town committee is who made the pledge. Not, okay, I'm confused. So, does the committee have anything to say?
The committee, the administrator says exactly
Okay,
correct.
all right, thank you for your information.
Is there anyone else who'd like to make a comment?
Could you speak into the microphone, please?
We can hear you.
I can't hear it.
Bear with me because I'm a little nervous too. But with regards also to Route 35, the Village 35, I know that there's a redevelopment plan overlay on that property now. And it's my understanding that the consultants DMR are writing up regulations that you're going to approve, right, for the overlay?
Review first.
You review them first.
So can I just clarify for the record that there is no redevelopment plan yet? You said there was.
Well, DMR has already been hired.
They're preparing redevelopment plan. There's no redevelopment plan yet. I just want to be crystal clear.
Okay, and what they're preparing is going to have regulations
Yes,
for
that's what-
architecture
That's what the redevelopment plan
and
does.
landscape.
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm asking, since it's going to come to your board for approval, will you get a draft? Can we also look at the draft? Is it available to the public? to look at the
There will
draft?
be the first thing I would ask, because this is a matter which is currently in litigation.
What's
So I'm going
that?
to ask, this is a matter that's currently in litigation, so I'm going to ask the township committee not to comment until the appropriate time on this. And I don't know, who is the "we" you're referring
Yeah,
to?
Village 35.
Public.
Okay, yeah, so what will happen is process-wise, when the redevelopment plan is prepared by the redevelopment planner, DMR, when that is prepared, it will have to be introduced by ordinance.
Yes,
Okay.
but once it gets
And then
the
it will-
introduction, isn't it?
Can I finish? I'm trying to explain the process, because that's what your question seems to be about. Maybe I can, preempt that. So the plan will be introduced by ordinance, then it has to go to the planning board for a referral. Then it comes back to the township committee for a public hearing, the process over which will be at least a month's period, where it will be publicly available and for public comment, for meetings, for any discussion you'd like to have with the township committee and even as professionals.
See, because I guess my concern is that once it comes to your committee for that first, I think it's called the first introduction by ordinance, that at that point, there will be no changes made. At that point, all the input will have been given.
Not necessarily.
Has it ever in the past, have you had an experience where changes have been made once it gets to that level?
Many times.
Okay.
And we would probably have the ability to do that if we weren't in litigation. We probably would have that ability now.
What's that?
We probably would have that ability to share with the public now, had there not been litigation.
Well, litigation's for a good reason, I'm sure. I mean.
That's why we can't share with the public though right now. If we got it back today, well, the litigation is Mr. Nelson has to manage it.
Well, the attorneys could, I guess the attorneys involved would be able to see it then. They would share it?
It depends on the circumstances.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess what I'm asking is that when it comes to the architecture and when it comes to landscaping, if you could really try to be heavy on landscaping, on buffers, on setbacks, and just, you're the ones that are going to set that regulation. It's in your hands. You have that ability.
There are also multiple locations that you can comment on here at the township committee and the planning board as well.
There's also multiple.
There are multiple locations that you can comment on it, both here at the Township Committee at the appropriate time, and at the planning board hearing as well.
Right, right. Well, I'm asking now, because as it's in the planning process, please give it heavy consideration for setbacks and buffers, please, and a public area, because that's, you're going to be setting your, you're going to be approving the ordinance, even though. All right, and then lastly, there was also a traffic study ordered around July of 2017 for the same property for 4 intersections, Kings Highway, the 2 jump handles, 9-10 months, and there's no traffic study. Is there a reason why it's taking so long?
The traffic study is, we haven't drafted the traffic study, we have a final version, and it will be made public.
Well, is there a way to have it completed sooner versus later so that the public has a chance to look at it before the next meeting? Like,
yeah, the traffic study information will be available around the same time as the redevelopment plan, so it'll all be publicly reviewable at that time.
but I'm afraid it's going to be at the same time of the first hearing, and there won't be enough time to review it.
It will be, and there'll be plenty of time to review it, and if people have comments at the hearing that result in any changes, then we'll make those changes and carry the hearing to another night before it gets adopted. That's usually the process.
And then you also have the site plan application will still have to be made after the redevelopment plan is completed, so there's
Right,
still
because that's
a
what
long
I'm
road to
concerned, like, the
cross.
site plan is definitely, I'm sure, being worked on, a lot of hard work being put into it, but yet they don't have the benefit of the traffic study to make
But
changes
that will be
that
out,
are
the
needed.
administrator said that will be out before the site plan is presented.
How much time do you think the public might have?
That's probably
2
months.
weeks or a month to
No,
look
months,
at it?
months before the site plan.
I don't know, how much time do you think the public might have to look at a traffic study before, before it's made available and an actual hearing?
I think the attorney.
At a minimum of a month, but probably more than that. Yeah.
That's good. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to be? Okay, so Leo, oh wait, Monica and Leo. I think I saw Leo's here first. So Leo, you want to come on up first and then Monica? Is that you? I can't see.
Turn the lights up. What? Turn the lights up. Put in these bins.
Dave Scott, River Plaza, Shady Oaks, Middletown. Recently, I've been at Asbury Park Press. I wish I had not saved the article and copied it for you and had distributed it. But the point of the message was is that Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield, because of the failures of the Obama protection program, Obamacare, patient protection, that the rates will be going up in the private sector for those who have a Blue Cross Blue Shield. I have both Medicare and Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I'm in the private sector and the public sector for my health care. And I'll pass this out so that all the members here seated can get a copy. Hopefully Heidi Brunt will get one, and whoever else, probably 8 copies. I find that the letters that the editors are strikingly interesting because people get right to the point that they have to make rather than reading a scholarly journal article. They have different purposes. And so in the this letter begins with the budget was passed in late December 2017. We know that the budget was passed supposedly indefinitely, but we know that in order to have reductions, like my wife can get, instead of $12,000, get $12,000 off, we can double it for 24. All right, so I guess that helps. It's front loaded for me, Tom.
Are you talking about the tax plan?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe about the health care.
Well, what I'm getting to, in order to get these rates, which went mainly to the people that earn more money, okay? I guess corporation types, I don't know about brokers and lawyers, salary or fees, that may be different. But the latest budget that was passed under Paul Ryan will deficit spend $150 billion for 10 years. That's $1.5 trillion over 10 years. All right? So that I can get some kind of break. So they increase the taxes, so the spending. That's I could almost do without the benefit. But at any rate, I don't like it. And so what I need to get into in this letter, just one sentence. He says, in light of these budgets, what we need is for Congress, we must demand Congress, one, and I won't read anything else but one, pay back the $2.8 trillion Congress borrowed from the Social Security Trust Fund, which also pays Social Security benefits and Medicare benefits. And when you increase your Social Security benefits, they charge you money from Medicare. To give it and take maybe all of it, some of it back. They can do this by raising the corporate and finance individual tax rates. My point is that Blue Cross Blue Shield intends to take raise rates for the private sector, and we know that Senator Moynihan from New York in 1982, when John Kasich became a member of the House of Representatives, when he left the House of Representatives in January of 2000, the end of Clinton's second term, Moynihan decided we will have a super fund, we will overcharge people, we won't just take employees' money and immediately distribute it. We'll have an excess from the employer and the employee to build up a future for future liabilities. So what has happened since 1982, here we are in 2018, John Kasich said he was the head of the Ways and Means Committee in the last 4 years of Clinton's terms, at the end of which term
Leo, I know you're hitting your 5-minute mark, but I'm just going to really quick respond to you. I just want to make sure I looked it up while you're sitting here about the health insurance, Preservation Act. It's A3380. I'm going to ask that Maureen Grace, I'm going to send her a copy of the bill so you have it, but it would prevent a increase in your Horizon Blue Cross costs.
That's right.
Yes, so I'm going to make sure that you get a copy of the bill. It's currently pending in the legislature, but I have it. I'm going to get it to Maureen, and Maureen's.
Usually at this point say that this governing body may, for the interest of senior citizens like me, and as many of us, some more of them to be here, these senior citizens are going to be pay more to make up for a shortfall, a long fall in the Obama.
I'll make sure you get a copy of the bill.
So I just like to finish. Moynihan set up a system. If this $2.8 trillion has not been taken out of the Social Security Trust Fund, and they have to pay interest, they took the money, not all of this 2.8, they took money. John Kasich was the head of the Ways Committee. He preyed on the ignorance of the voters when he campaigned, and he debated. And the ignorance that he preyed on was what I know, that he was the head of the committee that took money out of the Social Security Trust Fund for those 4 years 1997 to January 2000, when he finishes last term, he skipped 2 terms out of this, 2 years. They took the money out of the Social Security Trust Fund. There's nothing in it today. There never was a lockbox. Never was a lockbox. It's a metaphor. It's roughshod.
Leo, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, we're at 8 minutes. I'm so sorry.
Could you please draft it?
So do you want us to support the bill that Mr. Perry mentioned? Is that what you're asking for?
I'd like to see a resolution from this body expressing their opinion with the information I'm provided, and there's more of it, that this stuff has to be stopped at the county and at the state and the national government level. This is, it's preying on the ignorance of the public. And the public, everybody that lives in a house, and they have a domestic, it's a business. Every household is a business.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just want to ask a couple of questions about the limit there. Other nearby towns, Homedale and Colesman, have some ordinances in place that better protect their residents from developers. One of my questions is, why did the planning board and the township committee include detention and retention basins in the definition of open space for Village 35?
Intends to answer any questions of this nature, ongoing litigation that Mrs. Manning is a party to.
Okay, let me see what else I got. There's also no green infrastructure in those developments as well. And then you have Kings Highway East as a designated scenic roadway. Why are you allowing a movie theater there? And are you planning to amend the 2020 master plan with some of these improvements? You don't have to answer my questions, I just want to make sure somebody's thinking about it. Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Is there any, yes, ma'am?
I have 2 things. One on the microgrid. I wanted to come to that meeting, but I was out of town. My time is everybody is a great idea. As you may be aware, our national infrastructure grid is in the powerless condition. So I think for the big township like we have, I think investing in that, you really couldn't do any better. So I'm in support of that.
Just a reminder, I believe it was recorded, so we'll be running that somebody on the TV channel.
And I believe that there's 2 more public. There's 2 more, and there was the, you can access the PowerPoint presentation as well.
That's on the website.
I know, I definitely will. My other comments relate to the Village 35 project. One thing I wanted to say was, I haven't been to any other big malls or strip malls where usually when you come out you have to turn left or right, there's like a cement, you can't go into local roads. I guess the residents right in the local area are concerned about people coming out of that development and going on Woodland and going on Kings Highway, not going on the Route 35 to go back to the Parkway or what have you. So I know that you're going to present the traffic study, but that is a very big concern that we have. Because that could really deviate really a lot of traffic on the road, especially like the Swedish Drive. It's very, very small, and it's hard to even get 2 cars down there. The other concern that we have is the Village 35 mile, the Dunkin' Donuts Island, and the redoing of the town center here, the Middletown complex, which is a good idea to do. It needs to be done. But there's a lot of different things going on there at the same time. So I wonder if that's been taken into consideration as far as the timings of all these projects. Okay. And then why is our township planning to bring in out-of-area traffic to this location? with the island. I mean, it's just a really kind of a weird space. So, and there's a lot of different things in there. So we feel a lot of concern about the traffic. Well, everyone's always concerned about traffic, but that's a really, that specific area. And also is, are you guys involved in the Historic Landmarks Commission or any of your, own commissions in this planning and comments on this project?
We appoint the landmarks commission, yes.
They're involved in it? And also
If
there's,
it's in a historic zone, I don't think this is, so I don't think that.
well, the Kings Highway East is, right?
It's not.
Oh, okay. And then there was another person that told me that that area is a lot of drainage that goes there. So right now, there's a, if you pave over it and stuff like that, you can create a lot of flooding problems. I don't know if that's being studied.
Look, I don't know, and Mr. Nelson, at the risk of you shooting me here, and I won't say too much here, but the reason we're doing a redevelopment study is because I'm pretty confident, just knowing the laws of New Jersey, knowing the trials and tribulations of this township in certain state-funded mandates, that one of the alternatives to whatever goes to that area will not be what you see today. And what you see at Chapel Hill, by the Whole Foods, will look like a small, little, low-income project after, I believe, we get our new quota next month from Trenton. So that's why we're doing this study. So we haven't made decisions. But I understand the fear of the community. We live here too. We travel to Route 35. I bring my daughter to gymnastics. I'm in Kings Lane 4 times a week. Okay? I'm there with you. This whole governing body is always on this road. But understand that there are other forces and factors at play, which is why we're doing a study, which I believe was really good due diligence in this committee. Because 2,000 townhouses there, under a builder's remedy, will be disastrous. That's all I'm going to say.
There's nothing you can do about it.
All I'm going to say.
Well, I mean, it's a private property, so it's limited.
Absolutely. It's limited scope, but we can control it with state code mandates.
Well, right, but you could, I mean, I don't know, the developer will have some design that's a little bit better than a
And that's what we will.
There are a lot of developers out there, a lot of small, a lot of things that are much better in terms of instead of just having a paved parking lot with stores. Like, especially if you want to look to the future, that's old news, that's the past. All those stores are going out of business and everything is vacant and moving. So it's that you can't have something there, you have that, we understand that something is going there, but we just think the design should be more future-looking than the 1985 strip mall that is planned. I mean, it's just a really reasonable excuse for it this day and age. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Fleming. Anyone else? Yes. You'll be right next, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Tricia McGuire, 49 Foxwood Run. I have some comments regarding some development that's happening in town. At the February 20 Township Committee meeting, the Township Committee adopted resolution number 18-99 entitled Resolution Directing and Authorizing the Planning Board to conduct re-examination of the master plan of the Township of Middletown. And the resolution provides, whereas, in light of the substantial changes in the development trend, I want to say that one more time, in light of the substantial changes in the development trends, the Township Committee is directing and authorizing the Planning Board to re-examine the master plan in order to determine whether the master plan and the related development regulations are still relevant and appropriate. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Township Committee and the Township of Middletown in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, that the Township Committee does hereby direct and authorize the Planning Board to undertake the re-examination of the master plan. By law, the master plan is required to be re-examined every 10 years, but the 10 years is not up. The Township Committee, however, took the extraordinary steps of commissioning a re-examination report now. And this is including us incurring the expense related to such a re-examination. Also at the February 20th meeting, I thanked the Township Committee for acknowledging that irresponsible development in our town needed to be a priority and ordering this re-examination as a step that I consider very appropriate. the February 20th meeting, the Township Committee adopted Resolution 18-98, designating Brandywine Companies as the redeveloper for the Town Hall complex. Public-private partnership project and authorizing negotiation of redevelopment agreement. Brandywine is a large commercial developer and boasts on its website that it has acquired and developed over $1 billion in real estate projects, which include big box retail, shopping centers, and multifamily housing. During public sessions, Township Committee members explained that the Town Hall redevelopment project would be comprised of a new Town Hall, residential units, and retail commercial uses.
No.
You're
Negative.
completely incorrect, and Brandywine also does municipal complexes.
Which is now not part of that statement. They also done Jersey City and other municipal complexes, which is how they were chosen. Belmar.
Thank you. The theory advanced by the committee for the project was that private development would secure new rateables to offset the cost of new town halls in Middletown. Tonight, and actually for the last year, we have been incrementally learning of the size, scope, and nature of the redevelopment project called Village 35. There are disagreements between the community and the Township Committee over the aesthetics of the project, the environmental impacts of the project, and the quality of life issues affected by this project. Yet there's one conclusion that is inescapable. Village 35 is a large redevelopment project that will greatly impact Middletown. The Town Hall redevelopment project and the Village 35 project are located practically directly across the street from one another on Highway 35. They are separated by a dangerous and soon-to-be, yet already approved, overdeveloped island in the middle of Highway 35. Combined, these three projects will have a historic effect on Middletown. In light of the master plan re-examination process, which will permit the stakeholders of Middletown, with the assistance of the professional planners, to participate in the creation of a revised master plan, I suggest that these two redevelopment projects should be tabled by this governing body until the master plan re-examination is completed and the appropriate traffic studies completed as well. Keeping in mind that this is the time to preserve our past and protect our future, I'm asking you now if you are willing to place a hold on these projects until such a time that this master plan is re-examined and has concluded its results.
Are you aware this township site is currently developed, correct?
I'm sorry?
The township site that we're on right now is currently developed?
Yes.
Is the island currently developed that you referred to? The island, you referred to the island in your speech that you just read. Is it currently developed?
Do you know the answer to that?
I'm asking you if
Yes.
it's currently developed, okay.
I did not call that.
And is the other site, the Village 35 site, is that currently developed?
I wonder if you could just answer the question. I'm wondering if you're able to table these.
I'm just
No,
asking.
the answer is no. So the question I also would be, will COA wait for our master plan when they give us a number, Mr. McGuire? Probably not, right? So the question you have to also ask yourself is if you favor more residential development on Highway 35 or business rateables. That's the question that we have to answer as a committee. It's a question that you should ask yourself too.
Just two other things. First of all, it's not highly unusual to do a re-examination report in less than 10 years. That happens. More so than waiting for 10 years. It's very common to do that. And secondly, there's no cost associated with it. It's being done by our staff. So there is no cost associated with doing a re-examination.
Anyone else? Wait, Ms. Manning, hang on 1 second. I have to let this gentleman, it's his turn.
Hi, my name is Anthony Griselli, and I'm a resident at 24 Covington Court in the township. And first, I'm going to speak to the comment, and I'm going to say less than 5 minutes. First thing I'd like to say is I think that your attitude towards that lady, I wouldn't want anybody to talk to my wife that way. I think that was quite disrespectful. I didn't like the way you spoke to her at all, and I think for response. response of the crowd, they must be on my side. You, sir, need to have an attitude check.
I'm not
You, sir, need to have an attitude check.
Sir, you know what it is? This is, the problem is, this is, no, listen, I just want to let you understand something. This is a candidate for office. No, I know, but I just want you to understand something. This was a politically charged speech made by a candidate for office.
Okay.
Who's made a lot of
It's fine.
horrific remarks
But
and
then-
misinformation, so
You should control yourself.
I understand, and I don't think he was meaning to be disrespectful at all, but you have to understand, that was a politically charged speech
Okay.
for someone that doesn't even live in the neighborhood.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
You feel defended, that's great.
Okay.
The other
Sorry.
comment,
So,
that's right. The other comment that I wanted to make, one of the comments that I wanted to make, I heard in this court tonight, you made a comment about fire department and animals. You may ask, other people have gone to the young mayors, and it was a very heartwarming thing to you. And we've heard about Eagle Scouts. And we can respect everything that you people have said about your experiences. I hope that your future experiences in the town, with Village 35 specifically, would be able to save some of the animals that live on the property that are currently there, that's currently there now, and not making them all extinct by blacktopping them. I would hope that your future mayors, when you walk them through the town, you could show them Village 35 and say, I helped make that, and be proud that you're saying it, and it's a thing of beauty, not what we're all afraid of now. And as far as the Eagle Scouts go, same thing, type of conservancy. I really do feel that as that is something that's important to you, those are things that are important to us in the township, and I really do think that you can tell by everybody's attitudes here that that is our utmost concern of what the future holds. You have to be surprised. Thank you.
thank you, sir. Okay, and just one other thing, the reason why we have a time limit, it's not to be rude, it's just, we have a large town, so we'd like to give everybody an opportunity to speak, so, and we're always here to speak after, with the residents, if it should go beyond that 5-minute mark. So it's not meant to be rude or anything. I'm sorry, I just wanted to let you know. And everybody else too. Yes, ma'am.
Judy Musa, I live at 114 Kings Highway in a historic home. I just have one question. We just talked about Kings Highway, and it's a scenic highway, so is it also a historic road? And I was just told it wasn't, and according to
Kings Highway East.
Not Kings Highway.
Kings Highway East was part of the British Retreat Route. It's part of the Middletown Indian Trail, which leads down to Sandy Hook.
And the question was, is it in a historic district? And
It's not considered historic
It's not in
district,
a-
even though Chapel Hill is historic and the other side is historic, so the road leading up to it is no longer historic.
It's not
Because
designated.
it's a district. You create historic districts, includes properties within those districts. And there aren't historic properties within that area who would qualify for a district, so no, it's not a historic district.
So those beautiful plaques, they say British Retreat Route, are just really pretty plaques.
No, they're educational. They're educational, not just pretty.
The question came up was asked in the jurisdiction of the Landmarks Commission, which is specifically related to historic districts.
I get that,
The
so-
question came up as to whether the Landmarks Commission is part of that process.
Sure. So the Landmarks Commission can only look at specific district areas. So, 3 doors down from me is no longer the historic district, so that person can do whatever the heck they want in their backyard, and it looks ugly in the front yard. But I have to follow these really specific routes, including, I want to put up a fence, and I have to go through a lot of rigmarole to have that done. I want to have something put on my home that was built in 1884. I'm held to a completely different set of standards than anyone else. So I guess that's the question.
Look at my rigmarole we've been going through for over a decade for a light.
Yes, I realize that.
Right, so that's-
And it's kind of interesting you bring up that light anyway. You're putting up pretty pebbles, along the curbing, and then it stops. And we have a curbing that goes nowhere. It's interesting, but I'm sure it's because of ADA compliance.
That's the county.
Yes, well, I know it's the county, but still, for me, it's still the same tax dollar. I pay my bills and it gets split up and whatever, we all do. don't know if you need the
You're talking about the
couple.
peanut stone, right?
Yeah, the peanut stone. But it could be just regular curbing. It ends, and there's disgusting sidewalk that can be fixed around here.
We did peanut stone.
I did some down at the school.
By the school, so right now.
The part that's between Red Hill Road and the church is not done. So, it's bits and pieces. It's a little incongruous that parts of it are done and then the rest isn't done. You would think that if it's a historic road, that the entire section would be finished. And so I think that's where the concerns lie for any group here, is that you see bits and pieces are done and you're like, well, wait a minute, that's a whole road. Why is 10 foot done and then not 20 feet?
Concrete sidewalks aren't historic. So the issue would be, should you put in concrete sidewalks in historic districts? Some people would say no, they don't belong there. That's not, a typical look in a historic district. That becomes the issue. The other issue is that a lot of people don't want sidewalks put in because they don't want to have to shovel it. So people reject it.
The sidewalk has been there, it's crumbling and falling apart. Just fix it so I don't have somebody
Comparing
fall on
existing
my
sidewalks
door.
is a different matter. The brand new sidewalks aren't always well received.
These are the existing sidewalks that have been there. On one side of the street they're done and the other they're not. It would be nice just to have contiguous, If you're gonna call it a roadway that has historic significance, then either fix it and make it nice, or at least try to complete the project. It's kind of half done. It looks crumbled and falling apart, so it would be nice to have that finished. And I think that's where the larger picture comes when you talk about the 35 project. What is that really going to look like? There's so many sort of questions in everyone's heads, and if it looks just like every other strip mall on 35, that's not really very pretty. It certainly doesn't seem to fit into what is supposed to be the central part of town, the combining of all these streets and, using Route 35. I know this is a state road with some limitations, but whatever we can do to help guide the process to make it as green as possible. If you're going to destroy 118 acres worth of trees, is it possible to keep some there that aren't spiny and looking like, anemic trees? So, there are old growth trees that are back there. They're not little pine trees or whatever those are that we put up. So that's the question. The aesthetics and what we've seen so far, honestly, kind of looks like every other NRPC mall that we've ever seen in our lives. So whatever you put up there, make it look better than that, please. Thanks.
Thanks, Judy.
I could just clarify another thing about the trees on the property. You understand that the farming activity on that property is cutting down trees. So those trees are all going if the farm stays. One way or another, they're going, because they get their farmland assessment by cutting down trees and selling the wood.
They cut them every year.
Monica, I'm sorry, I can't call you back. We'll get to the meeting.
Is there any to address the comment that was addressed?
We have to talk about it after. I can't keep calling the same people up. I know, don't make me, I'm sorry. Is there anyone else who would like to make a public comment? Because then we would keep calling the same people up all night long, and that's not fair. And it's also not part of Robert's Rules of Order. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Pam Bergen, at 18 Stevens Drive, Middletown, New Jersey. Thank you for being here. I don't come to this meeting very often, and I'm sort of new to talking.
You're not usually like this.
Okay, that's good. That's good. I just, this is just a comment that we live in a society now where we can't seem to have a civil discourse if we disagree with each other. And what I witnessed tonight was that when people are stating their opinions and their thoughts that disagree with the people sitting in front, they get shouted down, they get called names, and you want to know what I mean? When you say someone said horrific things and they're only doing it for their own personal gain.
Right, that's not being shouted down.
No, I believe.
And I'm sorry, ma'am, I respectfully disagree.
Okay, and that's your right to disagree. I'm a social psychologist and I work with people about interpersonal communication. And I can tell you that my blood pressure just went through the roof listening to the way you talk, not just to, I think her name is Ms. McGuire, but to several other people here, that you're here to listen. And you may think you know what they're going to say, and you may think you know what that there's a reason why what they're saying is wrong. But if you don't hear the whole thing, and the residents don't hear the whole thing. It's just like this private little conversation going on that none of us can really understand what is the agenda underneath it. And it felt like there was an agenda tonight, which was to pretend to listen to the public and to pretend to care what people who might disagree with you have to say.
I think that's very insulting that you think we're pretending. It's very insulting. We've known everybody in this room. We've all had much discourse prior to this.
I'm sorry, we don't have, you're making it like there's an opinion because the neighborhood has an opinion, we can't comment, that we don't have some similar views, may share a similar view. Just because we can't comment because of litigation doesn't mean we don't necessarily agree or potentially disagree, we can't comment.
I appreciate that. I'm trying to explain how I felt sitting here as a new person observing how people are interacting. And I would hope that we can, myself included, find a way to talk about things so that everyone who's here understands the root issues, what's really underneath things. So apparently there's a lawsuit underneath a bunch of stuff going on tonight that we can't talk about. Right, and I appreciate that. And apparently there are people who've been working on different committees for a long time, trying to help get something for the community that everybody would love to have there. And I hear frustration in their voices that, you know, it's probably just the process just hasn't reached a conclusion, but I think it's also because the lawsuit and things we have not understood what's really going on. So bear with us. And this is an extremely frustrating time and a really important time for everyone here to feel.
I don't mean to interrupt, I just want you to know, I mean, we're all volunteers here. We're not doing this for any other purpose other than we honestly care. So if it appears as if we're at odds with some of our residents, it's really not the case. It's just, it may be manifesting that way because you're coming into the situation kind of like in the middle of this, but that's not the case at all. And everybody here is here as a member of the community. We're all taxpayers, we all live here. Our kids go to school here, we all travel along that highway. I'm there 5 days a week, my daughter dances over there. We care, we're doing this for the right reasons. So if any of that ever came off in a different manner, it's just not accurate. So I did want to say that. And I don't think anybody means to be rude, but of course, you know, sometimes when people approach people a certain way and there are some underscoring issues, you know, it may manifest that way, but that really isn't the case. Everybody here does care, everybody here is interested. We're doing this because we love where we live and we care about our future here. We all have children here. So at the root of it, everybody really wants the same thing. It's the truth. Everybody really wants the same thing. And I think a lot of people forget that when you come to these meetings, you think we just sit up here and we're here to make speeches or make a scene or that's not the case. We're here for the community because we're part of the community. So it's unfortunate that you had that experience tonight, but I can assure you it's not normally that type of experience. And we're very transparent committee and we're very present and attentive. So I'm sorry you had that experience this evening.
Thank you, Mayor. And I look forward to even greater transparency.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. I'm 111 East Highway down the block. So he said we all want the same thing 3 times. Can you tell me what that is?
We want what's best for the community.
What is that?
What's best for the community.
What is that?
Well, what do you feel is best for the, hey guys, calm down, calm down. What do you feel is best for the community? Well, let me explain something to you. And this is something everybody here is well aware of. This town is a very large town, and there are different parts of Middletown, and different people in different parts of the community want what's best for where they live. There are a few uniting factors for everybody in the town, taxes being one of them. But what's important to some people in the community is not important to many other people in the community. So that's something for us that we try to balance. We try to do what's best for the community at large. And what we believe is the best for the future, that's what we were elected to do. So nobody here has a specific plan in mind other than trying to balance the needs of the entire community. And I know that's probably not what you want to hear, and I'm sorry I can't tell you what you want to hear, but that's the truth. We're trying to balance the needs of the entire township. And also we're trying to do what's legally acceptable as well, because this still is private property. So nobody wants to have something that people in one section of the community hate, but we're going to try to do our best to balance the needs of all of Middletown, 42 square miles and 67,000 of us.
So what are the sacraments you're going to use to try and balance it? I'm sure every person on this committee has a different opinion, just like almost everybody in this audience has a different opinion.
Yes.
The development that you're speaking of there are several opportunities multiple times for the public to comment. And I think what's happening this evening, what's happening in other meetings, is that there's a notion that there's a fait accompli with regard to development, with regard to information that the developer has posted in various locations that are not publications of the township. And as the mayor mentioned, and as the administrator mentioned, and I've mentioned before, there are planning board opportunities, there are township committee opportunities for the public to make comments on the plans that have been developed at that point, such that they can be modified. We can take public input, we can make the plan better, we can improve the plan so that it incorporates people's comments from the public and then move forward. And the reason why things are introduced and then passed is exactly for that reason, so we can continue to get public comment. So unfortunately, when I hear things, there's no one right answer this evening, right? And there are multiple venues in which the public can comment with regard to different processes and development for that particular project. So it is, I think something that you're struggling with is there's some information that the developer has placed out and on previously that's not an accurate representation of the development of the project. And that has to go through the steps of this committee, the redevelopment process, and the planning board. So you will always have opportunities to comment at specific times on those agenda items.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Would anybody else like to make a comment? Okay, seeing no members of the public, we should take any more public remarks. I move to close the public portion and adjourn, and I hope everybody has a nice evening.
Second.
Take a vote.